Good morning and welcome to Y.Y.C.I International Academic and Appleton Private University Global Online Diploma Masterclass. We've started this journey since May and now we're rounding it up during this time of July. We've covered mindset, personal development, emotional intelligence, artificial intelligence, financial intelligence, leadership, and management throughout this our journey. But this morning, we are blessed and opportuned and even privileged to have again and again Professor Dr. Subrata Chattopadhyay from India, the Professor Institute of Engineering and Management, Kolkata, India, to come and share with us again on artificial intelligence. He has been with us since May. If you have missed any of his section, it will be a good idea to visit Y.Y.C.I.TV YouTube channel to watch all his videos. And there is also assignment to go with it if you really want the diploma certificate. So you can send the assignments to us on yyci.academy@gmail.com. So this morning, we want to welcome Professor Dr. Subrata from India. And this is just a brief profile or bio about Professor. Dr. Subrata owns MSc, MBA, PhD from IIT ISM Durban and adapted at innovative teaching practices is highly networked with the industry. It's not only teaching, but also practices, and his students do adore him for the same. Why? Because he contributed in more than 30 international journals and has published more than 23 papers in seminars and conferences. Besides, he has authored he has authored many books. Some of them are Computation in Estate Management, Transport Management, and Values and Ethic for Engineers and Managers. So this is just a brief about Professor Dr. Subrata. So we welcome Professor to share with us this morning on artificial intelligence. You are welcome. But before then, I welcome Dr. Fatai Toromade from Nigeria. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us this morning. We appreciate you, and for many people that will be joining us later. We appreciate you dearly, Dr. Fatai Toromade. You are welcome. Okay, over to you, sir.
Well, so good morning, good afternoon, good evening, respected Ma Elizabeth Lucas of Y.Y.C.I, who has always been my mentor and my guide, and I call her as my mother. And we are a family, right? And also, I can see with us Honorable Dr. Fatah Toromade has also joined. So thank you so much. And we have a host of other participants. So many followers of Y.Y.C.I who would be joining in either in online or will be listening to the video at a later point of time. So today I'll cover a very important perspective of artificial intelligence, which deals with fuzzy logic systems. So what does this term fuzzy logic systems mean? So fuzzy logic systems actually produce acceptable but definite output in response to incomplete, ambiguous, distorted, or inaccurate. Inaccurate means fuzzy, okay, output. So basically, if your input is inaccurate, then fuzzy logic systems actually tries to make it a definite output. So fuzzy logic is a method of reasoning. So reasoning which resembles human reasoning. So the approach of fuzzy logic is that it imitates the way the decision making takes place. So as in computers will be a binary language. So it's either a yes or a no, one or a zero. But there are different stages in between. Like, so the inventor of fuzzy logic, who is Lotfi Jade, he observed that unlike computers, the human decision making has different other levels or stages between yes and no. What is it? One is certainly yes. Next is possibly yes. Then cannot say, or possibly no, or certainly no. So there can be different stages between a yes and a no. And the way that you say yes and the way that you say no, right, that also signifies that how wholeheartedly or half-heartedly you are saying yes or no. So the fuzzy logic works on the levels of possibilities of input to achieve the definite output. And I was discussing, I just started with fuzzy logic in my last session, if you remember. So it can be implemented in systems with various sizes and capabilities ranging from small microcontrollers to large network station-based control systems for hardware, for software, or a combination of both. So let us first of all understand that what is there in fuzzy logic. So it can control machines and consumer products. It may not give accurate reasoning, but it will try to give acceptable reasoning. And fuzzy logic also helps to deal with uncertainty that is there with different engineering systems. So the basic module of a fuzzy logic system is it transforms the inputs, which are crisp numbers, into fuzzy sets. So it splits into 5 steps. So as I said, between yes and no, there are 5 stages. So it actually divides into 5 steps. As you can see on the screen, LP means large positive, then medium positive, then small small negative maybe there, MN means medium negative, and LN means large negative. So like this, it tries to split into large positive, medium positive, small, then medium negative. So like this, large negative. And then it tries to work on if then rules. If this happens, then what? If it doesn't happen, then what? If it somewhat happens, then what? So it tries to make decisions. And then there is something called inference engine, which simulates the human reasoning by making the process by making the human reasoning process making fuzzy inference of if then rules. And after that, it gives a defuzzification module. That means what is the output? It transforms the fuzzy set obtained by the inference engine into crisp values. So basically, this is the flow chart that you can see. So you give a crisp input. So the fuzzy fire, it feeds into the fuzzy fire, and then the fuzzy fire takes that input set, applies the intelligence, applies the rules, and then defuzzifies. That is, the defuzzifier gives the crisp output. So input, then intelligence, and then finally the output. So 3 stages broadly. Now, there is something called membership function, which allows to quantify linguistic term and represent a fuzzy set graphically. So that is called a membership function. So let us understand what is a membership function and how does it actually work. So as I said that here each element of X is mapped between 0 to 1. It is called membership value or the degree of membership. So as you can see over here, X, the X axis that you see is called the universe of discourse, and Y axis represents the degree of membership. That means if the value of Y is 0, it means that it is not associated. If it is 1, that means it is associated. Okay, and it can take the values. I'm just explaining in very simple words. It can take the values either ln, that is large negative, or it can take medium negative, or it may be small, or it may take medium positive, or it may take large positive, depending on the intensity of the function. So if it is very positive, then it will be large positive. Like we think, if we are extremely positive and damn sure about something, that we will do it very passionately, very dedicatedly, so that will be large positive. If we are somewhat sure, that will be medium positive. If we are extremely negative about something, then the chances are very high that we will not be associated with it at all, despite come what may. So that will be large negative. So very simply, this is the graph that you can see. Okay. So the triangular membership function are the most common among the various other membership functions. So I'll give a simple example of a 5-level fuzzy logic system which we use in air conditioning systems. The system adjusts the temperature of the air conditioner by comparing the room temperature and the target temperature value. So here you can see in the screen that you can see on the outside you have the room, and then you have the air conditioner fitted, and the commands you can give if you have you hold the you know the switch, so you can give the command heat, cool, or no change, and then you can also target temperature as we do in an air conditioner. You can raise or lower the temperature. So basically, the whatever the room temperature is, what it will do is that according to the room temperature, it will apply intelligence. That is the room getting hot? If the room is getting hot, that means the comfort level is decreasing. If the comfort level is decreasing, that means what I need to do? I need to reduce the temperature a bit so that people can feel comfortable, they can feel at ease. So that is what the fuzzy logic temperature logic system does, that it compares between the room temperature and the target temperature. If it finds that the room temperature is too cool, then it increases the temperature. If it finds the room temperature is hot, then it tries to bring it to moderate and then cool. So it tries to understand and analyze that which are the people that are there and what is their comfort level. Are they feeling too cold or are they feeling hot? If they are thinking that, well, the room is getting heated, so the system, the fuzzy logic system understands that, well, the room is getting heated, so it reduces the temperature, and vice versa. Okay, so I hope it is understood. So what is the algorithm? So you first of all define the linguistic variables and the terms. Okay, construct the membership functions, construct the knowledge base of rules, and convert the crisp data into fuzzy data. I will just show you over here what are the linguistic terms. So temperature can be what? You can see temperature T. It is written on the screen, right? It can be either very cold, or it can be cold, or it can be warm, or it can be very warm, or it can be hot. Okay, discrete values. Every member of this set is a linguistic term. That means very cold is a linguistic term. Cold is another linguistic term. Warm is another linguistic term. So like this. Okay. Oh my God. My another mentor has joined. Sir, Haiduddin sir has joined. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
scared. I am scared when people of such eminence joins my session.
No, don't be scared. Carry on. You're doing wonderful, Dr. Subra.
And
Professor Karudi, you are welcome,
Yeah.
sir. Our Papa in the house.
Thank you. Thank you.
sir is an expert in all these. So, sir, I'm trying to explain fuzzy logic in very simple words.
Okay.
So, as I was telling, first of all, you define the linguistic variables. And after that, what you do is that you construct the membership functions for them. So, what are the membership functions? Let us see. So, you can see over here, the membership functions can be, as I said, large negative, medium negative, small, medium positive, large positive. Let us see the construct that is done. See over here, it is very easily understood. So you can see in this table that is there, the room temperature or the target. So if you go down vertically, the room temperature can be very cold, cold, warm, hot, or very hot. So 5 stages. Similarly, the target temperature can also be very cold, cold, warm, hot, and very hot. Now, let us, tally one upon one. So, if the room temperature is very cold and the target temperature is also very cold, that means the first one, you don't need any change. However, if the room temperature is very cold, but the target is cold, that means what? From very cold, you want to move to cold. That means you want to increase the temperature. So what you need? You need to heat a bit. So that's why you see heat is written over here. If you want to make it further hot, then you need to say, for example, need a higher temperature. Then it can be warm, or it can be hot, or it can be very hot, depending on what your requirement is. So like this, if the room temperature is, say, for example, let's move to the second one over here. If the room temperature is cold, now you need to make it very cold. Then what you need to do? You need to cool. Otherwise, it cannot be, it can move from cold to very cold. So you need to cool. From cold to cold, no change. Now, for each of these linguistic terms, a temperature is assigned. I'm not going into that. So a temperature is assigned. So the system, the intelligent system will understand that what is the temperature, and accordingly it will vary the temperatures. Similarly, from cold to warm, you need to heat, and for hot and very hot also, you need to heat. So now, if the room temperature is warm, you want to make it very cold. That means you need to cool. If you want to make it cold, then also you need to cool. Warm to warm would be no change, and vice versa. I hope this table is now understood by everyone. Okay, I try to explain in very simple terms. If anyone still has any difficulty in understanding any of the parameters of the table, please feel free to ask me. I will explain once again. So basically, it tries to build a set of rules into the knowledge base in the form of if then else structures. If the room temperature is very cold, and the target is cold, then you need to heat it. Else, you keep it as it is. So like that. So that is what this fuzzy logic tries to do. So as I said, I explained these to you. If the temperature is cold or very cold and the target is warm, then you need to heat, as you can see over here. If the temperature is hot or very hot and the target is warm, then you need to cool. If the temperature is warm and the target is warm, that means no change is required. Clear? So that is how a fuzzy logic system, a fuzzy set of operations work. Okay. So fuzzy set of operations perform evaluation of the rules, and it uses basically, in if you talk about digital circuits, it uses an OR gate and a AND gate circuit, maximum and minimum circuit. So we'll not go into that. Let us go to some more applications of fuzzy logic and where it is used. In fact, this masterclass of ours is to understand how artificial intelligence is applied so that we know that which are the areas in which applications of artificial intelligence can be given, because this is not into engineering or a scientific session, but it is more into application. So the key application areas of fuzzy logic are in automotive systems, like automatic gearboxes, then four-wheel steering, in vehicle environment control, in consumer electronics, as I said already, for AC. So for hi-fi systems, for photocopiers, for still and video cameras, for television, you want to control the light, you want to control the intensity, you want to control the sound, right? There also fuzzy logic can be used extensively. Then in domestic goods also, say for example, you want to heat a particular food, right, in a microwave. So how much of hot you require? You want to warm it, you want to make it very hot, you want to make it just heated. So you can understand the different levels are there, and the system understands that how much of heat is required. So it's used in microwave ovens. Similarly, in refrigerators also you find the regulators are there. So the regulators actually work on fuzzy logic. So to say, if it is automated, then fuzzy logic is there. Otherwise, you use it manually. Khairuddin sir, please correct me if I am wrong anywhere.
Yeah,
Because
no
you are an
worries.
expert in the subject. Okay.
Karen, you're doing
So
great.
microwave ovens, refrigerators, toasters, vacuum cleaners, all these, use intelligent systems these days using fuzzy logic. Okay. Now, in environmental control also, I talked about air conditioners and humidifiers, they are used. Now, what are the advantages of using a fuzzy logic system? Why do we use a fuzzy logic system? So basically, the mathematical concepts within the fuzzy reasoning are very simple. And you can modify a fuzzy logic system just by adding or deleting the rules. And this you can do because there is flexibility of fuzzy logic. And fuzzy logic systems can take imprecise, distorted, noisy input information and make it into logical, sequential, understanding. So it's a solution to the complex problems in all fields of life, including medicine, as it resembles human reasoning and decision making. Now, the disadvantages of a fuzzy logic system is that there is no systematic approach to the fuzzy system design. And they're understandable only when it is simple. But as the situations become complex, then fuzzy logic understanding also becomes difficult. And they're suitable for the problems which do not need very high accuracy. And also for discrete systems. For continuous systems, fuzzy logic systems may not work that properly. Okay. So let's move on. So this is one area of artificial intelligence which in which I am sure revered Ma works very deeply into this area, which is natural language processing, NLP. So natural language processing refers to the artificial intelligence method of communicating with intelligent systems. And how do you communicate with intelligent systems using a natural language? Say, for example, English.
Dr. Subra,
Yes, sir.
your NLP can be confused, but better remind audience, it is not neuro-linguistic programming.
Yeah, that is also there. I'll come to that. I'll come to that.
Okay.
I'll
All
come
right.
to that.
Correct. Correct.
So here we are talking about natural language processing.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So processing of natural language is required when you want an intelligent system like a robot to perform as per your instructions. When you want to hear the decision from the dialogue-based clinical expert system. And this natural language processing performs useful tasks with the natural languages humans use. Input and output of NLP can be speech or a written test. I'll give you an interesting example, and I think all of you would be very impressed listening to this. So this time when we had we just had the induction program for our BTech as well as our MBA students. For the engineering students, right? The very first day when they entered, they were greeted by a lady robot. And here the robot was made to understand, to learn the names of the students and the allot the sections of the students accordingly. So what happened is the students went up to the robot, the lady, right, and said, and the robot asked, "Hello, what's your name?" The student told, "My name is this." "Oh, this is your name. You have to go to this floor to this section." So immediately the student goes to that section. Another student comes, same process. So machine learning is there and the sections are allotted. So instead of human intervention, the robot is actually guiding the students to the different classes. So the components of NLP as in natural language processing over here, right, is first of all natural language understanding and converting of the machine language to the natural language. So you need to map the given input in natural language into useful representations and analyze the different aspects of the language. The second thing is the natural language generation. So it's a process of producing meaningful phrases and sentences in the form of natural language from some internal representation. So when we talk about natural language processing, it involves text planning, sentence planning, text realization. So all these are, it goes into that. Now there are certain difficulties in NLU, that is the natural language understanding. So it has extremely rich form and structure, but it is very ambiguous. There can be different levels of ambiguity because different people speak English differently. So there can be ambiguity in understanding. So lexical ambiguity, that is very primitive level, such as word level, as I said, right? There can be, for example, treating the word board, B-O-A-R-D, board. Is board a noun or a verb? Then there can be syntax level ambiguity in text. So a sentence can be parsed in different ways. Like the example which is given over here, he lifted the beetle with a red cap. So what does that mean? Did he use cap to lift the beetle, or he lifted the beetle that had red cap? So which one is right? So there is ambiguity. Then there can be also referential ambiguity, referring to something using pronouns. For example, Rima went to Gauri. So these are two people. One is Rima, went to Gauri, and then it writes, she said, I am tired. So who is tired? Is Rima tired or is Gauri tired? She said, I am tired. Exactly who is tired? So one input can mean different meanings. And here the ambiguity is there. And many inputs can mean the same thing. So NLP is used extensively in phonology, which is the study of organizing the sound systematically. Then it's also used in morphology for construction of words from primitive, meaningful inputs. It's used, morpheme, which is a primitive unit of meaning in language. Syntax, that is arranging words to make a sentence. Semantics. So these are some certain terminologies which are used in natural language processing. Syntax, I have already said. Semantics is concerned with the meaning of words and how to combine words into meaningful phrases and sentences. Then pragmatics. Pragmatics meaning it deals with using and understanding sentences in different situations. So same sentence used in a different situation will mean different. The interpretation will be different. And then the discourse. That is, it deals with how the immediately preceding sentence can affect the interpretation of the next sentence. Okay. Word knowledge includes the general knowledge about the word. So there are different steps in the NLP. So this is basically, how it works. The lexical analysis, that means, so it comes from the word lexicon, meaning the dictionary, right? So lexical analysis, then syntactic analysis, semantic analysis, disclosure integration, and pragmatic analysis. Okay, so I'll just explain very briefly what these terms actually mean. So when you talk about lexical analysis, as I said, so lexicon of a language, right, means the collection of words and phrases that is there in the language. So it is dividing the whole chunk into paragraphs and sentences and words. Then you have syntactic analysis, that is when you analyze the words in the sentence for grammar, arrange the words in a manner so that there is a relationship between the words. Okay. So there has to be, like, say, for example, if I say the boy goes to the school, we get a meaning. But if I say the school goes to the boy, doesn't have any meaning. Okay. So it is basically concerned with syntactic analysis. That is the syntax, the grammar that you are using and how you are making the relations. Then comes semantic analysis, which is the exact meaning of the dictionary from the text. And the same words may mean different. Okay. So it is done by mapping the syntactic structures and objects in the task domain. The semantic analyzer triggers the sentence like hot ice cream. Ice cream cannot be hot. Ice cream is always cold. Okay. So, it's a semantic disconnect that is there. Then we have discourse integration, which is meaning of a sentence depends on the meaning. So meaning of the sentence depends on the meaning of the sentence that is told just before. In addition, it also brings about the meaning of the immediately succeeding sentence. Okay. So the way that I am saying, the way that I am expressing it actually brings out that what would be told next. So that is discourse integration. So I would actually plan my schedule, or the system would plan the schedule in such a way that it actually gets the required output, the required sequence of messages. So that is discourse integration. And then you have pragmatic analysis. So during this, what was said is reinterpreted on what is actually meant. So it involves deriving those aspects of language which requires real world knowledge. Yeah, sorry. Now, let us go to certain things more. Yeah. So there are, you can go on to different details of implementations of syntactic analysis, context-free grammar. I'll not go into all the details. Uh, I'll pass on the entire, lecture and the PPTs to you, so you can go into that. So all these, can be broken up into different uh, parts to understand details of the syntactic analysis, and how the relations between the words and the sentences can be made so as to form proper relations. Okay. So we move on to the next part, which is called an expert system. So I'll just touch upon for the next 5-7 minutes on expert systems, and then continue with that. So expert systems are one of the most prominent research domains in AI. What is an expert system? It is introduced by the researchers at Stanford University Computer Science Department. And the expert systems are the computer applications developed to solve complex problems in a particular domain at a level of extraordinary human intelligence and expertise. And an expert system always gives high performance, understandability, and reliability. And expert systems basically does a number of things. They are capable of advising, instructing, and assisting in human and decision making, demonstrating, deriving a solution, diagnosing, explaining, interpreting input, predicting results, and justifying the conclusion. In fact, just before the class started, I was talking to Dharma about uh, agentic AI. So we were discussing that how the generative AI, generative artificial intelligence, and agentic artificial intelligence is different. So generative artificial intelligence, it generates whatever you require. That means you want to generate a PowerPoint presentation for a particular topic or a title. You give a title, right? It can generate the presentation for you. You want it to write an email, it can generate an email. You want it to write a story about something, it can do it. You want it for some research, it can generate some research outputs. But what agentic AI does, basically it uses the expert systems because it actually makes the decisions. So it not only generates, but it takes entire decisions. Like say, for example, I was talking to one of my colleagues and telling that, say, for example, you want to plan a tour of your students to, let's say, Khairuddin Sir's country, that is Malaysia. So what agentic AI does is that it actually not only tells you like generates so generative AI will do what? It will tell you that what is the process of doing. I think Honorable Ma will agree. In one of my sessions, I had showed that how, say for example, I took the example of a conference of Y.Y.C.I. So if I want to join over there, then what are the things that I require to do? But agentic AI using an expert system goes way above that. So what it does is that it actually makes the plan, the decision process, and it actually tells you that if you go for this would be the price. These are the things that you will get, right? It gives you all the different alternatives, and it actually works like an expert system as a manager and takes decisions. So so agentic AI maybe, at some point of time in the near future would actually compete with the human thought process because it also takes decisions. So machine is taking decisions. So the difference between machines and human being is that machines cannot, all this time we knew that machines cannot think. But here, agentic AI can think and take decisions. So here we need to.
So long as they don't create blunders like the movie I Robot, Dr. Subrata.
Right. So here, we are challenged in the sense that our human thinking and the machine thinking, is it in sync, or the machine is thinking better than us, right? So I leave you over here, and we'll take up from here itself about expert systems in my next session. Uh, in the next two sessions, we'll talk about expert systems, and this is the last topic that I will cover in my last class, or maybe in the next session, I'll talk about export systems and robotics, and a little bit about agentic AI, because agentic AI, is just around say 6 months old, so it is the latest thing that as regards AI. So, with your permission, Honorable Ma, let me stop here for now.
Yes.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you
Subrata.
so much,
Excellent.
Dr.
Wonderful
Subrata.
presentation.
Yes, thank you so much for your presentation. We really appreciate it, especially gaining knowledge on artificial intelligence every week. I believe that we are not movies towards that artificial intelligence. At least if people are talking about it, we also can defend, and we can also apply it to our business, our day-to-day lives, activities and other things. So I believe that we are gaining more knowledge. And I want to say thank you so much, Professor Dr. Subrata. Now, while Miss Doctor is still around, do you have any questions to ask? Well, let me use this moment to say thank you so much for joining us, Princess Victoria Godwin, Dr. Fatai Toromade, Ambassador Rachel, Ambassador Oluwatobi Oyedemi, Dr. Motola, and Ambassador Bazi, and my own and only one, my president from Malaysia, Professor To. He's been busy. That's why we've not been able to see him on the platform, but we appreciate your presence.
I think, my session was good enough.
It
And
was,
that's why when we started, only we two were there.
yeah,
And when I finished, so many of us are here.
exactly.
And all of them stayed back.
I told you that they are,
That's testimony,
I
Dr.
told,
Subrata.
I, I told you, Dr. Suprata, that some of them are having their breakfast. So they
Oh,
have their
yeah.
breakfast before joining the class. And now they've joined. Any
I'm
questions
having
so
I'm
far?
I'm having my late tea. It's 6:02 p.m. here in Kuala Lumpur.
Okay, on this note, while we are still here, can Professor Karudin add more to what Professor Suprata have said? Do you have anything in mind for artificial intelligence to share with us quickly? And then we can
Okay.
ask both of you questions before
Thank you.
Professor. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Ma'am, Prof. Dr. Queen Elizabeth Lucas. Okay. Artificial intelligence is very interesting. People talk about it. People think they know about it. But artificial intelligence is something to me that is uh, you need to be careful about it because it can be positive, it can help you, but it can be a treachery. It can have treacherous outcomes if we do not know really very well about it,
Mm,
and if we are not able to control it. The key here is our ability as humans to control artificial intelligence. Unless we want artificial intelligence to control everything else and we sit back and watch. If
mm,
that is our mindset, then I have nothing else to say. But if we want to use artificial as something important for our own survivability, for our own progress, and for the good of mankind and for the good of the world, we need to be really mindful,
mm,
careful, and pay attention to the positive contribution and to the negative outcome that artificial intelligence can trigger or unleash. That's my comment, Prof. Queen Elizabeth Lucas. To
yeah,
add on to Professor Dr.
amazing,
Subrata's what do you call rendition of today's topic of
amazing,
artificial intelligence. Back to you,
amazing,
ma'am.
amazing.
Dr. Subatra, with
Yes.
apologies.
Thank you. Thank
No,
you.
no, you're
And
absolutely
and
right.
and I think it's good to hear from somebody that is almost 75 years old now, sir.
No, not yet. No, not that old. 71. I'm 71.
I mean
So,
that's
so,
enough. Is an
so Professor Khairuddin is
inspiration.
just 8. 7 plus 1, 8.
Yeah.
Thank you,
That is
brother.
that is enough. That enough is an inspiration for us to keep learning, because if Professor Karudin is inspiring us this morning to say we need to really welcome this artificial intelligence into our day-to-day activities, our
Right.
relationship, our professions, our businesses. I believe that we are on the right track to learn about this artificial intelligence. And we really appreciate Professor Subrata that has been teaching us since May about this topic. I mean, there was a time we have to do some practicals on ChatGPT, the artificial intelligence, and they've taught us both Dr. Suprata and Professor Patrick has really enlightened us during this diploma. And if we missed any, all the videos are actually available on yyci.tv. So, any questions, sir, before Professor Suprata leaves us? Any question? Dr. Motola, do you have any question? Princess Victoria, this is the time to shine your light. You need to ask questions. Ambassador Bassi, we don't know it all. So any questions that comes to your mind, can you please ask them now? We have Professor Karidin, we have Professor Suprata.
I'd like to
Yes,
ask Professor Subrata,
yes.
ma'am, do
Yeah.
you think artificial intelligence is already at a stage where should a country wants to start war, they will use artificial intelligence? Do you think
Wow,
that's what you call
intense.
something that is worrying, and that something in the next 10 years or so, or maybe in the next 2 years, 5 years, can happen? What's your view on that, Dr. Subrata?
Yeah. So, if you ask me,
Mm,
already artificial intelligence is being applied in the war between Russia and Ukraine,
Mm.
then Iran-Israel war, and
Yeah.
also in the Operation Sindoor of India and Pakistan.
Yeah. Yes.
Mm.
So basically, this is precision intelligence. So through geoinformatics, right? So the geospatial maps that are there, that
Yes.
where the different establishments are, and you actually fine tune your system accordingly. And so what happens is, these days the systems are so very accurate and so very precise that you don't actually intrude into someone else's country, but
Right.
from your own country you can
You can do
actually
it.
put the
You can
missile
do it.
into that
Yes. Yes.
particular country without actually going into that particular country.
Or you send drones, without even your enemy noticing
Yes,
that they are there.
absolutely. Absolutely. So these are certain things which are really concerning, and which
Disturbing, you mean?
actually are, should not be done.
Yeah.
In fact, we should always use technology for our own good,
Mm.
Yes.
and not fight for trivial differences or causes. So, we are one world, we are all human beings. And, with the advances of technology, if we, the world should be a global village with free access, and there should be positivity and not negativity.
Positive use of these new inventions and new technology, right? Not use it
Yeah.
for warfare, for your own advantage. Huh? I agree with you, Dr. Subrata.
Yes,
But
that's
human beings, being human beings, the devil gets into them, and that's happened. That's what There's so much that we can control, but on the other hand, there's nothing much we can do if the
so.
devil gets over you.
So over here, I would like to cite the example of Sir Alfred Nobel.
Hmm.
Sir
Ah,
Alfred Nobel,
yes, yes.
uh, the one who instituted the Nobel Prize. So he actually invented dynamite,
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
and
Many people
this
forgot that.
this so this dynamite he actually wanted to use
For good
for
use.
breaking the mountains
Yes,
and creating roads and infrastructure.
Wow.
But
absolutely.
then this dynamite, when it was used for attacking the enemies and all, he was very depressed, and that he did
Yeah,
not want.
because he invented it. Of course, he's depressed.
So he wanted to use it for a different cause,
Yeah, he
but it
wanted to
was
use
used
for
differently.
positive use, for the world, for mankind. But man use it for destructive purposes. Am I right, Dr. Subrata?
Absolutely,
Mm.
yes, yes. So there is a question in the chat box from Ambassador Basil
Yeah.
Metulia, which says that what role can AI play in transforming mentorship and personal development for the next generation leaders? So yes, in fact, I had told all of you to go through the matrix.
Careful. No,
Yeah,
continue. Sorry.
yeah. So I had already told that there are different artificial intelligence tools and softwares which are there, wherein you can get all the required things about transforming mentorship, about your own personal development, right? Say for example, so acne. So if you want to use artificial intelligence to develop next generation of leaders, so what are the theoretical perspective, what are the practical applications that are there, and what are the best practices, what are the standard operating procedures, you can know about it. So yes, artificial intelligence is an enabler, It can obviously solve complex human resource issues, but then it depends on how the machine learns, whether the machine is able to take complex decisions into account. So that's my 2 pence. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Subra. Absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
Any other question, please?
Hello.
I believe you've answered 2 questions on the platform. Let me see. Have you answered the first one? What roles can AI play in transforming mentorship and personal development for the next generation leaders? Have you answered that one, sir? Professor
Yes,
Subrata?
yes, yeah,
Yes, okay. What
yes,
about
yes.
can AI helps in solving complex human resources issues?
Yeah, I have already answered to this.
To this,
So it
okay.
depends.
Oh,
Yeah, it depends
wonderful.
on how the machine learns.
All right.
If
Okay.
you can, the level of complexity,
Yeah.
right? If you can feed it with that level of complexity, then it will be able to answer. If it
Okay.
uses, simple algorithms for solving human resources
Simple
issues,
problems.
then
Mm.
the extent will differ.
Yeah. Yeah. Another question that's just popped in before I know you are about to leave. But they keep asking questions, which is good because it's like they are listening and they really want to know. Sir,
Good,
the
very
next
good.
question, Professor Suprata, can robot or artificial intelligence helps human as surrogate mothers? I don't know about. I think I need
I
to
think
know.
I think technology has not developed that far.
Interesting.
So
What did
robot
you
or
say?
artificial intelligence cannot help human as surrogate mothers as of now.
Oh,
No.
but
interesting.
Dr. Subra, what about machine artificial intelligence ability to self-learn,
To,
and then better?
okay.
Do you think that's possible? Is that has that happened?
Yeah.
A
So
machine
artificial
learning,
intelligence and robotics, as I said, that it can help and aid humans, but
right?
then not to the extent that helping humans as surrogate mothers or giving birth to
Yeah,
child.
okay, okay.
So that is not possible.
That's
Okay,
not
no,
possible.
no. But my question is, do you think it's possible for the machine, to enhance their own learning, for robots, the
Yes.
self learning?
So that is
It's
what
possible,
that
huh?
is what agentic AI is working on that, sir. So
Okay.
Okay.
agentic AI will take the entire decision. So like I said, that if I
Mm.
want to take students to Malaysia to
Uh-huh.
the different universities and also for industry visits, right? So I give that this is what my requirement is. So it will plan and decide and give me
The
different
robot will
alternative.
decide for you. The robot will decide for you.
Yeah, agentic AI will decide.
Okay, okay. Okay.
So
Wow.
it is again, in a very initial stages as of now. So
Okay.
only 6 months that agentic AI has come. So a lot of research is going on as regards.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank
Subrata,
you so much.
for enlightening us.
It's a great enlightenment. And your
Thanks.
assignment, are you going to send it to me? And then I
Yeah,
send it
I'll
to the
send the
group
assignment by tonight.
by the,
By,
okay.
by end of day, I'll send it.
Okay. So we really appreciate your time because I know you might want to move on for another lecture because some of our lecturers, they are very busy lecturing as well somewhere else. I know Professor Patrick's supposed to be with us today, but he just came back from Singapore, but unfortunately he's been hospitalized. But
Hospitalized for what? What happened? What happened to you?
no, I think maybe he ate something,
Oh, food
something.
poisoning.
Yeah,
Food poisoning.
yeah. But
Oh,
he's getting better now.
poor
So,
fellow.
but he was meant to teach us this morning, but
Oh,
because
okay.
of that, so he have to take care of himself. I'm
Get
sure.
well soon, brother.
Yes, I'm sure he's been discharged from the hospital. I've been trying to connect with him just to know how he's feeling now. But I want to believe he's getting better. He's getting better. You know, he travels a lot. He
Okay.
travels lots, a lot. So that is why. But with Professor Suprata that has really enlightened us this morning, I believe that we've learned a lot and you'll be able to apply it to day-to-day activities, your business, your leadership, and even in any of your profession. So on behalf of Yes You Can International and Yes You Can International Academy and Appleton Private University, we want to say thank you so much, sir, Professor Dr. Suprata,
Thank
all
you,
the way
Prof.
from
Subrata.
India, and we look forward for your assignment. I want to encourage all our great students, please do your assignment and submit as soon as possible. We are rounding up our program, and you still have a very big project that you need to do, your dissertation. So it will be better for us to clear up all our assignment so that we'll be able to focus for a month on your dissertation. I want to say well done to Dr. Motola for all your assignments. Well done, Ambassador Bassi, for your assignments, because I have seen some of your assignments. I'm still waiting for Ambassador Rachel. I'm still waiting for Dr. Toromade. I know he's very, very busy. And I'm still waiting for Ambassador Toby Oyedemi, your assignment. Princess Victoria, I've sent all the assignments to you. So hopefully you'll be able to start off some of the assignment. It's very, very important, Ambassador Rachel. I know how busy you are. So please let us catch up with the remaining assignment because it's part of the requirements to achieve diploma certificate. And we are all going to celebrate together with Professor Karudin in September when we will be doing our graduation. Professor Karudin is our mentor in this platform. Professor Karudin is also our president at Malaysia, Y.Y.C.I president at Malaysia. Professor Karudin is also one of our elders and he is also our advisory board member. So we appreciate and we are privileged to have him joining us today. I know he's very, very busy, but he is aware of whatever we are all doing. So we appreciate your presence here today. On this note, I'm going to start
Thank you, man.
section. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. So on this note,